he told me whichever side you consider your good side, that's the way you part your hair. So for me, I guess this would be my good side.
Well, because if this is your good side, then you would part this way though, or the opposite direction.
What he told me was that it was the same as your good side. So if the part was on that side, that was your good side.
It's based on the part specifically.
Oh, that's
so
the
I
same
guess
side.
this would be mine.
According to a barber. I mean, he wasn't.
What do you know about the barber?
Yeah, I mean, it was just some random thing that kind of stuck with me, and I thought, I wonder if that's true.
How long has it been since you've been going to him? Or that was one
No,
of your
no,
barbers?
I'm terrible. I go to whoever is closest. I don't have a go-to.
How long have you been living off that philosophy then?
I roll the dice, you know, it's kind of one of those things. I think it's pretty simple. Do 4, slight trim on the top, that's it. I don't have it. That's it. I mean, it's not real complicated. I know some people like to go to the salon and they want to have the whole, you know, hour-long cut and feel like they're really going to a professional. For me, 4 on the sides, take a little off the top.
Nice.
It's, you know, $20 cut, good cut.
Straight simple call. Cool. These mugs are a little tricky.
Yeah, I
It
saw
looks
that.
great this way, but no, to have the logo
Yep.
showing through.
I already.
No, I think that looks a lot cuter. But guys, welcome back for this week's Coffee with Kyan.
Welcome.
Who's gonna do the intro?
So Patrick Shaw here with Kyan Way. It is Friday, July the 20th, and we are really excited to be speaking with our great audience on a beautiful Friday here in Atlanta. And this is another take of Coffee with Kyan.
You're always so proper. I love it. And guys, this is not how Patrick is normal attire that he goes on coffee. He actually wears this every day. Let me rephrase that. So I think that I almost felt bad. I was talking to you about yesterday. So what are you gonna wear? And we kind of got stopped. We weren't sure where this conversation was going. I was like, I don't even know. I haven't picked up my dry cleaning for almost 2 weeks.
I think I took a page maybe out of Mark Zuckerberg's book years ago, which was dress minimally and maybe almost the same. You know, tend to do black and white, and just one less thing for me to think about in the morning. Black slacks, white shirt, 90% of the time. So maybe a little boring, maybe a little conservative, but you know, black and white is a mode that's always going to be in vogue.
You're a sharp dresser, I think, from head to toe. It was come in, make sure the hair is. I think I've only seen your hair actually not as well manicured one time as actually when we went to whitewater rafting. Even that was still pretty good standard, I think, compared to most guys, how they present themselves.
Appreciate that, Kyan. You're very well dressed as well.
We're trying.
Definitely picked up a couple things. I like the black jeans. That's a good look.
Oh, funky socks. Ah, didn't mean to share that. Cool. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, P. Shaw. If you don't mind me, hashtag it P. Shaw.
So a lot of my friends do call me P. Shaw, which I had to sort of educate those here in the new office that is my nickname. And the funny story is that you really can't give yourself a nickname. You've got to be nicknamed. So it's one of those things that just kind of stuck, but I do go by P. Shaw. And so a little bit about me. I've got a 5-year-old, which really my universe revolves around Braden, my little guy. He'll be 6 in August, and you know, I don't want to say it's my whole job, but it is a job. You know, it's a full-time thing, and you know, I love it. I love being a dad, and it's been really interesting to see things through the eyes of a child, frankly, and kind of relive a little bit of my own youth through him, and try to you know, maybe do things the second time around through my son. And so yeah, it's a very, very cool thing to be a dad. So you know, that's a lot of, you know, who I am now. I am, you know, in the dad mode, in the parent mode, but you know, I think in terms of just, you know, my background, it's, you know, as far as work, I've been in staffing since 2010. So this is 8 going on 9 years for me, and definitely a passion of mine. I think that to be involved in people's careers and to be hands-on, both for me on the client and the candidate side. It's really powerful stuff, and to be able to help businesses and help people in a real tangible way every day is very motivating. So I'm really glad to be here.
And how long have you been doing it for? In staffing specifically?
Yeah, so 2010 I started with a startup company. It was an entrepreneurial company, and I was actually their first employee.
Oh wow!
And so yeah, it was way back in the EHR boom actually. So there was a lot of money set aside to upgrade healthcare, and one of the things they were doing was going to an electronic system. So a lot of people didn't know what EHR was. So this was a great opportunity as a staffing company to really come in and help and partner with hospitals. So we would come in with very talented people and help roll out a lot of EHR systems. Did that for about 4 years, really enjoyed it, learned a lot about contingent labor, contract labor, and have just kept evolving. Spent a lot of time in healthcare staffing, worked with physicians for almost 4 years through another organization, really enjoyed that. Felt like I was, directly and indirectly involved in care. I would hear about the stories, about the cases, about how some of the physicians were helping people heal or deal with difficult situations, and there's a lot of satisfaction in that. And then my most recent adventure has been the ERP world, which really excites me with all these online retailers and all this very fascinating stuff, really being driven by the change of Amazon. And so ERP really falls right into that. So I felt like it was really good timing for me to once again reinvent myself and learn a new products. Well, right now I'm working solely in the provision of NetSuite experts, and so it's been very refreshing to get into something new and fun. And just like I said, it's something I'm very passionate about. The staffing industry has been what treated me well and really allowed me again to be a big influencer in a way I never knew I could be. More than just my own job. I'm changing other people's careers too.
Yeah.
So
because the environment you came from, on top of healthcare, you mentioned there's more contingent basis. Were you involved much on the permanent side, direct hire?
So my initial company I worked for was all contract. So because we were helping hospitals implement EHR, for example, it was really all done on a contractual basis. They didn't need full-time employees. It was more implementation. Everyone just wanted to get an EHR system. There were some mandates to do it. And so, really did contract for almost four straight years.
Wow.
Just all contract business. And it was really almost acting as a project manager because a lot of it was very strategic and very much
process oriented.
Yeah, we need an expert, and it's so new that we need a director level or project manager. And then I started to figure out, okay, then they would need people.
Yeah.
So it was building teams at a large degree. So perm actually came in later for me, and when I was working with physicians, for instance, it was almost all perm. So the company I worked for had a lot of contract physicians, and what they felt was better for the business was actually to bring those people on as employees. They had more ownership and more leverage. And so that was quite a change from the contract world that was fast moving. This was more finding the right fit long term. So pretty good mix there between contract and perm. And I think the contract is quicker and more fast paced, obviously, but perm is a little bit more satisfying for me because when I can call somebody and tell them or check in with them and find out that they relocated and they love the job, and I've helped them really grow in their careers. It's pretty fascinating, and I've actually put them in the right organization versus just quick contract and get the job done and move on. And it's a little more substantial.
Because in the contract world specifically, everybody goes to work every day, either working remotely or on site, or in between trapped at the airport somewhere, or trying to get to places, traveling around facilities, we do spend more time with our work colleagues than sometimes with our own family. In this case, and in a permanent capacity, you're looking at a direct engagement, most likely on permanent basis and full-time basis. So that's quite a drastic, life-changing, life-altering situation specifically. I'm mentioning that actually because now you're finding out more and more, especially within your workspace, relocation becomes a very crucial step in the current process. That's quite different than arranging travel,
right?
Now more on a permanent basis, because especially you recently were involved in a relocation yourself.
Yeah, so Kyan, as you know, I was living in Jacksonville, Florida, and I really enjoyed Jacksonville. It's a great city. There's a lot to like about Jacksonville, being Northeast Florida on the coast and
the river city, the bridge city.
Yeah, they call it the Bold City, and so you've got the St. Johns River, and really a lot of the city revolves around kind of that core downtown. But yeah, I sort of felt like, at least in terms of being a dad, going back to that there was more opportunities in Atlanta, both for me and for my son. So, one of the things that brought me to Atlanta was we found a really good school in Ponce, which is downtown in a very mature part of Atlanta. And so Springdale Park Elementary was just so highly rated. And as we kind of looked at what would be the best option for our son, it was the school. So it's been awesome for me because I actually grew up in the Midwest. So I'm originally from Kansas City, and a big part of me had wanted to get back to seasons and more diversity and more sort of urban landscape and more opportunity, frankly, because Florida, it's great, but I wouldn't say it's the most opportunity, and I wouldn't say it's the most diverse in terms of just things to do. It's very much beach centric. So yeah, Atlanta's been great. I mean, a lot more things to do, a lot better options for my son, and where I am downtown, it's exciting. I mean, it's you have the traffic and you have things you can point to say, we'd rather not have that. But as a whole, I mean, it's had a lot more impact on me in a short period than I would say Florida did. Florida's a little bit kind of watered down, frankly. There's not that much influence there. It sort of just is what it is. It's a beach town most of the time.
And observe a lot more as you can, especially Jackson. There's Jacksonville Beach, right?
Correct.
And I believe Daytona is in about within the hour.
Daytona is about an hour. That's right. I mean, people love it there. I think that for somebody that wants sort of a slow pace, that doesn't need a city, that doesn't need a lot of opportunity, that it's great. But
the coastal line has a lot to offer. Of course, the east coast of Florida, but of course, at the scene, it's a supply versus demand. Everybody at a certain stage of life probably will want to be aspired to different ventures potentially.
Yeah.
So I think that obviously that there is a purpose of, of course, for Braden, for school choices and all.
Right.
Yeah, and then partial career opportunities that brought you here to an AT. I'm glad that it's gradually easing in and then enjoying the life and then in the groove. I'm curious to hear your take about now, getting yourself into the trenches of the cloud-based systems, especially within NetSuite so far. How are you finding that rhythm in the pulse of the market so far?
That's a really great question. I think the best thing you can do if you want to learn an industry is speak to those that work in the industry, and that's an obvious answer.
Absolutely.
But I mean, just by having those discussions with those that are working in that industry, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? What did you adopt? Why did you adopt the system? What didn't you adopt with regards to all the intricacies of the system? And you kind of learn why it's a good system and what the pros and cons are for the system, because every system has them. And so once you can figure out exactly what people love about the software, then you just hopefully talk about more of those things. And, you know, I understand it's great because of these reasons. And yeah, that all comes out through discussion. So speaking with those that are actually using the system and building rapport with those people, it becomes a wealth of knowledge, and that's how you jump right in. So talking with experts, and then ultimately becoming an advisor to your clients based on what you know is really good about the product and why it helps, you know, others, or how it helps others. And so ERP is really interesting because, you know, in today's day and age, I mean, a lot of stuff has to be managed through data, through you know, inventory management, through warehouse management, and it's able to do all those things. It's able to show you, you know, metrics and automate things and really streamline a process for a business. And it's exciting stuff. I mean, to be able to do all that with one software is a dream, really.
And then, because I remember that we had a discussion, a little battle a few months ago, and then between two of our teams that under the Oracle umbrella, JD Edwards versus NetSuite.
Right.
What was Suite World like from your before and after take?
Oh, you know,
after attending it.
I'll have to brag a little bit about Gary Dyer, our president. I keep telling Gary I really owe this man a lot. He sent me to Vegas. We've done spa days. We've done whitewater rafting, and I felt like it was just another treat via the company. But yeah, we had the opportunity to go to Las Vegas, and you know, it's obviously a very exciting city, so to have an event there, just any event would have been awesome. But this particular event was great because you really get to get a flavor for the industry and how all these different businesses benefit from the product. So we heard from various businesses and really how it's impactful in a positive way. And so listening to the keynote speakers and really the direction the company was going helps, and it gives you an idea of the size. I mean, there were thousands of people there, and they're all interested in the same thing, frankly, and that's a really cool thing. I was also amazed at how many additional products and different development networking players there are. I mean, there's a huge sort of ecosystem that NetSuite supports and Oracle supports, and it's just very fascinating stuff.
So what are some of the exciting things or opportunities you're working on right now within NetSuite?
So I would say one of the biggest ones is administrators. So every NetSuite user needs a go-to systems administrator.
Cannot live without them, so thank you for doing what you do.
Yeah, systems administrator, you know, their go-to person. If they have a question, you know, that guy or gal can answer it. And then also being able to escalate some of those changes or system changes to the developers.
Yeah, the tickets.
So we've got remote developers now on billing, and you know, it's great to hear that they've cleared up certain production issues. You know, I had a consultant I recently put on assignment, and a client came to me with some production issues. They were backlogged, and within 1 week he had fixed all their problems. Their invoices had gone out correctly and got them back to producing again as a business. And you know, again, it just goes to, you know, the passion that I have for staffing, because you really can make a big difference. And so yeah, I'd say administrators, developers. We have some solution architects out right now. I know my colleague Molly Corp has reactivated a really great asset of ours that's doing some tremendous things on the architecture side of things. We've also added a few NetSuite partners, so it's been really fascinating to see some of these companies that have been around for 15 or 20 years and that are looking to us to help them with regards to recruitment.
That's fantastic.
And we've had some great success, so we want to continue adding NetSuite partners, CPAs, you know, companies that are maybe winning some of this business that don't have the niche talent, so that we can support them in their efforts. And so yeah, it's all been really exciting. I think you know, the direction it's going is going to do nothing but continue to need more and more niche talent. I don't see it at all shrinking. I feel like, if anything, it's really heating up. the industry is, and you know, it's great to be able to, you know, listen to what's going on and then quickly present solutions. I mean, there's nothing better than that, for me at least, to I guess go back to kind of the full desk scenario where I'm hearing about skills, and then I'm hearing about problems, and I'm able to activate, you know, the right people quickly, and it's great stuff.
Fantastic. For anybody who want to contact you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, so probably you know, just finding me on LinkedIn. So Patrick Shaw with IT Works Recruitment, or they can call into the office. I mean, we have a pretty open line here. So I have a colleague, Molly Corp, and I, that solely specialize in the provision of NetSuite system experts for our clients, and it's really all that we do. So we truly are market experts. We understand both, you know, the industry and the talent that's required to quickly, you know, solve the problems as they come up.
Fantastic. One last question I like to ask during the interview series is, for any individual who aspire to look up to you doing what you do in the near future or a long way down in their career path, what words of advice do you have for them?
You know, I think the biggest thing you can do is try to be bigger than just your own desires. You know, staffing allows me to do that. I can look at helping others. I can look at finding somebody their dream job. I can look at having 4 or 5 clients that I've solved a problem for, and it's bigger than just what I want. It's really truly serving, and truly you know, trying to understand how you can be of benefit, you know, beyond just your own personal desires. So I think the biggest thing is just to try to when you give, you get, I guess, frankly, is the idea there. So and I think staffing allows me to do that. I really do. I think for me, it's just been a very satisfying period of you know, my career has been very satisfying, and so put yourself in a position to be able to do that. I mean, not everyone can do that. If you're, not to knock an accountant or you know, some other trades, but if you put yourself in a position to be able to help people and help people in a wide spectrum, you know, you can really find that to be very satisfying.
Fantastic. I know you're working on something very special for next week. So
I am, yeah. Lots of there's always lots of problems to solve out there, so
absolutely,
it's good stuff.
Great, thank you, Patrick.
Absolutely.
Wish you continued success. I really thoroughly enjoy working with you.
Appreciate it.
I know we got a lot of good things happening and lots of challenges along the way, and just another day at staffing. So cheers to your continued success.
Appreciate that.
And anybody have any question, please contact Patrick Shaw. And then Patrick's on my LinkedIn every now and then quite a bit. So any question you have, give us a call. We look forward to seeing you next week.